Hi again, this is Tim Lightfellow in Kingdom Volunteer Society for Creative Anachronism, showing the next step in my arrow making process. This step follows preparing new shafts, straightening shafts, and then cutting them to the length you want. And this step is tapering the shafts. There are many versions of taper tools that are sold. The one I have is, I think it's called True Center. So it has a short and a long blade. So the long blade's for the tip end, short blades for the knock end. And then it has different size attachments for which size shaft you're working on. There are a lot of them that are less expensive that kind of look like little plastic pencil sharpeners. And they're usually side by side, short and long. So knock and tip end, and it's made for a size of arrow shaft. There are also some tools out there. I'm looking at a Three Rivers archery page at the moment. They have something called an arrow taper guide block. So that's something that you could use with a disc sander, and it sets the angle that you grind at to create the tapers. So there are a few different options out there. I haven't tried that guide block, so I can't offer any kind of review or anything. I've been tempted and I may do it at some point, but for now I use the taper tool. Now when I'm going to taper these, I'm doing bolts, so I only need to taper one end because we just need a tip. We don't do nocks on generally on crossbow bolts. So what I look for is like how good is each end? Are there like some marks on an end or something that make it a prime candidate to be the one that I taper and put glue on? In this case, the place that sent the shafts has their weight markings in pen on one end. So I'm going to go ahead and taper that end. If you have trouble holding these, especially if you're doing 12, 24, 48 at a time, it can start to hurt your hand trying to hold the wood and force it. One thing I've found that helps me is I get like this tablecloth or table skid proofing. It's designed to like go on the back of placemats or whatever for tables or anything like that to help prevent skidding. Could go on the back of like small rugs. It does a great job for providing extra grip and giving me just a little bit wider thing to hold on to, so it's not quite as hard on my hands. And then with the taper tool, you literally use it just like a pencil sharpener. So you stick it in and then you just slowly start twisting it. I'm actually over the garbage here while I show this. And you'll notice it's just kind of curling out like you might see with a pencil. This is hickory, so it is a bit harder to cut. Again, softer wood's easier to cut, harder wood's not as easy. And what you're looking for is to get as clean, straight line as you can of the edge of the taper. Sometimes it won't be simply because of the taper tool, or it can be that you held it in at a slight angle. So if I see a place where there's a clear uncut ridge sticking out, I'll try and specifically work that against the blade to try and even it out all the way around. So I'll do one or two more just to show you the process. And This is another thing that can happen with this, is sometimes the shafts aren't quite the same diameter. So this one, I actually need to switch out the this for the next size up to allow the shaft to fit, as with that one. And again, when I look at them, I'm checking for the side that has numbers on them or damage. Okay. And what I just was showing, the issue with some shafts not fitting, I've had that happen with hickory. I've had that happen with spruce. I haven't worked a lot with cedar, so I can't say that I've recall having that issue with the cedar I have worked with, but that's not necessarily saying anything since I haven't worked with much. But there we go. So there's the ideas. Now we have them tapered, which will allow us later on to glue the tips on. Next step will be doing back dip or dye if you're doing that, and then doing sealant, and that will be another video. So I hope this helps. Thank you for joining me. Have a good day.